That's my best friend. That's my best friend.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Dave Mo. You already know what this is. Street Dreams Automotive. And I apologize for my lackluster. It's probably about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. Full disclosure, one of my people got popped tonight, so we had to get in touch with the bail bondsman for some people to be able to be on that paperwork. And I'm just waiting for the phone call now to see when they get released so I can go pick them up and get right back to business. So that's why I'm coming to at this late hour. My family's sleeping, so let's get into it. Plain and simple. You want to be a car dealer. Okay, it's easy. You don't really know where to go. You might want to pay somebody to show you how to do it. There's a lot of YouTubers out there right now that are offering, programs upwards of $2,000 to teach you how to sell cars. And they tell you that you might not need a license. They'll tell you, how to get the license and all this other nonsense. So let me save you $2,000 right now, okay? Here's the truth. Google the shit. Just Google it. If you live in Alabama, here's what you're gonna put. How to obtain an Alabama used car dealership license or used car license. All right? It's gonna tell you everything you need. If you wanna be more specific, use your county. All right? So I'm in Tampa, Florida, Hillsborough County. I typed in how to get a used car license in Tampa. And it came up and there was a phone number. I called the phone number and I said, hey, how do I go about obtaining a dealer's license? They gave me a bunch of things that I need. And when I Googled it, Google had a printout for me of a bunch of things I needed as well. They pretty much met the same criteria. Not a big deal. Go, you get your lot, you get your bond, you get your insurance, you figure it out from there. All right. Here's an added bonus for you. Once you have your dealer's license, you're able to buy cars in basically all over the world, but more importantly, right here in the United States, any state that you want to buy cars, it automatically gives you access to all of them. If there's an auction that's not in your hometown, but in another town or state for that matter, all you have to do is call them up, send them your dealership license and your resale certificate, and they'll put you on the books and you can buy. Now, if you want to hook up with a place like Manheim or CarMax, as a matter of fact, I fucked up today. Today was a rough day, let's just say that. I was supposed to buy a Jaguar coming out of Cali, and it was the XF F-Type. I actually was watching a Sam Crack video, and he's got one rebuilt title, and he was going to sell it to legit street cars. And I think the car is a badass car. I've owned an XF before. I never had a Type R. So I was going to buy this one out of Cali and have it sent over. But I just forgot. The day got away from me. But that wasn't the point of the story. The point of the story was this. All I had to do was because I'm already hooked up with CarMax here in Tampa, that opened up every single CarMax all over the country, to include California. So I went in there, I looked on the car. I didn't go to California, I went on the website, looked at the car. There were no announcements. Another cool thing with CarMax is if you do use them and you use their carrier service, which is basically the same amount as Ready Logistics, their 7-day warranty doesn't start counting until the car gets dropped off at your location. With that being said, if I went with my own transporter, saved maybe $100 or $200, the clock starts once they pick it up in Cali. So if it took 7 days to get here, by the time it got to me, I'm out. The warranty's out. So for the extra money, I was going to use the CarMax transport, which a lot of people don't even know that CarMax has their own transport system. But back to the moral of the story. Don't buy these stupid things that these stupid assholes want to sell you. because honestly, they're just scumbags looking to make more money, which is why most car dealers have a shitty reputation to begin with. They might look squeaky clean, but at the end of the day, all they are is a shined up piece of shit, all right? So you could look at me, and I've been told before I look greasy, fat fuck. I don't know what I'm talking about. But here's what I do know: if you pay someone to teach you how to be a car dealer, you get what you deserve. It's number one. Number two, let's talk about this. What how to negotiate with banks and stuff like that. This is another thing that these people that want you to buy these programs are going to try to sell you. All right, that's fucking retarded. If you don't know how to call banks, again, Google best used car banks, or financing companies. Call them up, negotiate with them. If you're just getting started, you probably won't have the best lenders. So you'll probably end up with like Lobel, Westlake, Nielsen. All right, those are entry level guys, and you'll make money with them. Okay, your buyer, for the most part, will probably have a higher interest rate. As you continue to make money, you're going to get into this system called CRS, which also brings a lot more lenders. Okay, banks only want to do business with people that have a lot of volume going through there. It doesn't make sense to give you their access to everything they have. My dog is knocked the fuck out, snoring. So you know what I'm saying? So you have to do volume and you have to prove yourself, okay? Also, your credit's got to be good. You want to negotiate with the banks? Call them up, just like you would for your credit card. See if you can negotiate better rates to get better fees for what you're giving. All right. If they're only going to give you a $2,000 check for this car, call them up. See if you get a better deal than that. That's how you do that. All right. So now you have number three. You have your buy here, pay here books. Okay. So one of the things that a lot of people like to do is they like to build up. A good friend of mine actually does this. He builds up every year 100 buy here, pay here clients. Okay. So when he does that, he will get to that number, and usually around December he'll sell his book. Now, what do I mean by selling his book? He sells all of his clients. To be honest with you, he probably holds 30 back. So he sells 100, he might have 130, 140, 120, but he'll sell a block of 100. They'll buy out what's left on their loans at a pre-negotiated rate because, of course, the finance company's got to make money. The finance company that's buying it from him. How does this work? Plain and simple. Whatever DMS software you're using, make sure it has bookkeeping. If you're going to use Fraser, fine. If you're going to use Wayne Reeves, I know for a fact Wayne Reeves has it. So every single time someone makes a payment to you, you simply put it into the Wayne Reeves program and you send them their receipt or a thank you or however you choose to market yourself, okay? You then call, the name escapes me right now, but you could just, again, do a Google search, start calling all your lenders already and say, hey, I want to sell my book. And you're going to negotiate. Well, how much is left on your book? When you go into Wayne Reeves, it'll tell you how much is an outstanding balance. And they're going to ask you, well, how many out of this 100, how many are up to date? How many are delinquent? What kind of vehicles are we talking about here? They may want you to put it in like a CSV format and email it to them. Again, all this is pretty simple if you're using Wayne Reeves and you're keeping up with your payments, okay? If you can't do that, you really shouldn't be in the buy here, pay here game anyway. So if you're doing things the right way from the beginning and not learning bad habits, it's very simple. When you go out there and you got everything beautiful, you put a little ribbon on top and you hand it over, it's perfect. Where these guys that are trying to sell you these programs is they're trying to show you the people that don't keep good records. So they're like, oh, we'll show you how to keep, how to get the most money for your book. Really, the truth of the matter is, if you keep good records and you do things the right way and you have good clients, you're going to get the best dollars for it, okay? Yes, they can be helpful to someone who's not good at that, and they'll come in and they'll fix their books. but you can also just do it yourself. Okay, again, there's no reason to pay someone to do that. So those are the three majors when it comes to starting a dealership. Google what the law is in your land. Okay, figure out how to keep good record keeping, and just start signing up with a bunch of auctions. Here's some food for thought. It is against the law in every single state to buy and sell cars without a license. Now, I just got off the phone the other day with someone who lives here in Florida, and they were like, "Oh yeah, so I heard in Florida you could sell 3 cars a year without having a dealer's license." In fact, in Florida, the way I interpreted it 3 years ago, very simply put, anytime you buy a vehicle with the intent to sell it for a profit, you need a dealer's license. When I lived in New York, I believe it was you could sell 3 cars in a calendar year before you needed a dealer's license. Now, are there ways around it? Yeah, absolutely, there's ways around it. You can flip titles, right? It's, again, I'm not giving any advice. I'm not telling you anything. I'm not saying that you should do this by no means. I don't encourage you guys to break the law in any way. But if you want to know how these other people are telling you you can do it, they can't really tell you to do it legally. What they're going to tell you to do is don't sign the title. Buy it from person A, sell it to person C, and you never sign the title. So you're flipping a title, right? The problem with that is, and we've gone over this plenty of times on this channel, guys, the problem is it's tax evasion. Have we done it? I don't know. I'm not going to answer that question, okay? It used to be called curb stoning. Now it's called flippers. One of my buddy calls it the flipper upper. He's like, I'm a flipper upper. So, you know what I mean? Like, it is what it is, okay? Another way of doing it is people will take that car, put it in their name, pay the taxes on it. And again, let's be honest here, the likelihood that they paid the real dollar amount taxes, slim to none. All right, then they're going to take that car and they're going to sell it. And they think because they pay taxes on it, they're okay. They're better than the first example, but they're still not in the clear, right? And then they might only have that dollar amount, the figure rather, where like you only sell 3 in a calendar year, blah, 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 blah. So now they're taking that car and they're going to sell it. And chances are they're going to write a fictitious number on that title, because number one, it helps the buyer. So the buyer pays less taxes. Again, totally against the law. Number two, if that person is doing it the right way and they're paying income tax, it looks like they sold the car for a lot less money, therefore there's a lot less profit, meaning a lot less income tax, okay? So that's another thing to look into. Also, they probably don't have an LLC or a business, so they're losing out on a lot of the tax incentives, all right? So that's another way of doing it. I heard of people starting LLCs, buying cars, selling them through the LLC, and just saying, oh, well, you know, I bought it for deliveries, or I bought it for Uber, or DoorDash, or Postmates, or whoever the fuck, right? And they're just like, it didn't work out, so we sold it. Well, at the end of the year, you had 30 fails. You sold 30 cars in a year through your LLC, which is not a dealership, it's just an LLC, and you're saying that it didn't work out for what you wanted. So you could try that, sure. Still think you're gonna get jammed up, but as long as that the laziest dog, as long as you're paying your taxes and shit like that, you should be good. Again, this is not me giving advice. This is me just talking to you. But these are the ways that these guys are going to tell you that you don't need a dealer's license and still able to buy cars. They're lying to you. There's, as far as I understand it, and you look it up for yourself in your own state, how to buy and sell cars without a dealer's license. I'm almost positive it's going to say 3 cars a year, 5 cars a year, not at all. All right. Then they're going to tell you, not the state, but these people trying to sell these programs, they're going to say, oh, hey, not only that, maybe, you know, after you use your three, put it in your wife's name, put it in your sister's name, put it in your daughter's name. It's a fucking headache. It's a headache, and you're breaking the law, right? And now you're getting other people involved to break the law for your benefit. Even if you're paying them, it's still for your benefit. Let's be honest with ourselves here, okay? So, I can tell you right now, those programs that are out there that they're going to teach you how to be a dealer, it's just a scam. I don't want to use the word scam. It's a ripoff, okay? All the information they're giving you is free. I don't care if they're a multi-million-dollar dealership. We all, for the most part, got started the same way, flipping cars. You might have came into the game with a little bit more money than I might have came into the game with a little bit more money than you. But the bottom line is, we're selling cars. If you need help figuring out what cars to sell, don't ask a guy from fucking bootleg Massachusetts how to fucking sell cars if you live in Texas, okay? He has no fucking clue what sells in Texas being from Massachusetts. He doesn't know what sells in Tampa. For instance, Texas has gotten some snow, right, last year. But for the majority of time, Texas and Florida does not get snow. Massachusetts gets a lot of snow. So if you're selling big SUVs and four-wheel drive vehicles up there, that's beneficial. If you're selling plows, trucks with these plow hookups and stuff like that, that's beneficial. I can't see why a Texan or Floridian or anyone that doesn't have snow would need a plow. It doesn't make sense. Are there exceptions to the rule? Of course. I'm sure there's someone out there that's got a plow and they move dirt, right? But for the most part, it's not really how it goes. What you need to do is look at your area, know what's hot, know what's selling. If your area, if you live in a place where you see a lot of pickup trucks, you may want to buy pickup trucks. Now, you may not want to buy them from your area. You may want to source them from other areas that are cheaper to bring them down, right? Because everything gets put into that. That's what you would do. If you're a guy like myself, I buy cars based on money. It doesn't matter what I buy as long as it runs and drives good and I can sell it for less than $3,000, $3,500 with the fees included. That's how I buy cars. The way I look at it is anything for that, any dollar menu car that runs and drives with cold AC and is safe is going to sell. All right. Now there is a place right up the road from me that sells nothing but Jeeps. That's their niche. They sell Jeep Wranglers all day long, and that's just what I think it's the Wranglers. The Jeep. And that's just what they sell. Now, with that being said, they found a niche. Those things sell everywhere for top dollar. As long as they could float the bill, then they're good to go. Sorry, I'm trying to pay attention. This girl's twerking on TV. It's very fucking difficult. Anyway, with that being said, I'm fucking totally lost right now. So just know your market, okay? Don't listen to me telling you what sells in California. I can only tell you what sells here for me in my area and how I do it, all right? Ew, way better when she was talking. So anyway, that's another thing. So don't pay for that because that's just stupid, okay? All right. So you got your dealer's license. What cars should I buy first? Let me tell you this right now. There's a lot of cars out there, but my advice to you is buy green light cars only. In the beginning, you're going to pay more for that car, okay, than you would for any other car. You're going to sell it and you're going to make less profit, okay? But hear me out. Before you unsubscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs down, understand where I'm coming from. In the beginning, I want to see you make any kind of money. The easiest way to make money in this game is simply to buy green light cars, like from ACV. Buy green, and I had nothing to do with ACV, it's just they have a green light system that is second to none. Buy the green light from ACV, okay, take it to the lot, clean it up, and put it out for sale. The reason why you're going to make less profit is because you're going to pay more for the vehicle and the retail price of the car is still going to probably be the same. So you're closing that gap, and that gap is your profit. With that being said, it's the safest route. As you become more of a seasoned dealer and you're doing more of these things, you can then say, hey, you know what? I'm going to maybe not buy a green light car. I'm going to buy one that's got no light and kind of take my chances on it. Okay. When that works out for you, you will make more money because you're going to get the car for less money than you would the green light version of the car, and you'll make more money. And then you might say to yourself, hey, you know what? I'm going to go to Copart or TRA sale. I'm going to buy cars with blown engines and have the mechanic put the engine in it. And now what you've done is you've lowered the value of your car, the wholesale value of the car by so much. After you've done the work to it, you still have this big gap. But I'd rather not see you jump into that right away, because depending on your mechanic, you could be waiting days, weeks, or months for that car to come back. And that is just not conducive to making money, okay? If it's me giving you advice, start with green light cars, get used to the auction. Once you have a good thing going and you're selling X amount of cars per month, you take a little bit of your money, you throw it to the side, maybe you get a Copart car, maybe you get a not green light car, maybe you get an engine transmission type car. So you're still making money with your green lights, right? But this other car that you just put aside, you have time to work on it or have someone work on it, and you're still making money. So you've built that up. And that's the same thing for buy here, pay here, guys. Use that same thing. You know what? Figure out a number that you want, buy here, pay here. How many do I want by the end of the year? Well, you know what? 100's a great number. If you're making $300 a car, on payments, and you do that times 100, you're making $30,000 a month. If you did 50, you're making $15,000 a month. So just like anything else in life, you have a goal, like your overall goal. Let's just say your overall goal is to get to 100 cars on paper, buy here, pay here. I don't want to see you go out tomorrow and just put all your cars on buy here, pay here, because you could buy here, pay here your way out of business, okay? Same theory applies here. You buy your green light cars, you get that rolling. So now you have good money coming in, and you're like, okay, I do want 100 overall, but this year, no stress, I'm gonna do 50. I wanna do 50 cars. By the end of the year, 12 months, I want 50 cars on paper. All right, so what is that? 3 makes 36, 4 makes 48. So let's just go with 4 for an easy number, okay? So every month, you wanna put 4 cars on buy here, pay here. But you're still flipping the cash cars for the green light cash cars. So you're still making money. You're still getting down payments for the cars you're putting out there. And at the end of the year, you end up with 50 cars on the buy here, pay here books. Once you got to that point, you're making, again, let's just say $15,000 a month. You can potentially take that $15,000 and reinvest it into your business. So now you still have your cash cars going, so your cash car money is still making money. Now your buy here, pay here money is at $15,000, and you're taking that money and just reinvesting it into yourself. So instead of putting 4 on the books a month with $15,000, maybe you're putting 5 or 6 on, okay? So you still have to make another 50 plus maintain any that have fallen off. But if you're doing 6 a month, within 8 months, you've just hit the goal of 100 buy here, pay here's. At that point, all you have to do is maintain it. So as the months go by and it's like, okay, I got 3 people that have paid off their car this month, you put 3 on this month. All right, I have 2 repos and 5 payoffs, so that's 7. Two repos and 5 payoffs, that's 7. So now this month I got to put 7 back on the books. So you maintain that 100, okay? So again, be realistic with your numbers. Don't get carried away. Do the right thing, and you will be successful. I feel like this video, we've really gone over a lot of things that these guys are going to try to teach you and try to charge you money for. Aside from me actually sitting down with you and going over all that stuff, this is exactly what it's going to be. If you need me to go over stuff with you and sit down with you and do like a Zoom type meeting situation, we can do that. I do that for free. You guys, I don't know if you don't believe me or whatever the fuck, but I've had at least 10 people, 5 to 10 people reach out to me and with a simple email, and I always ask for their phone number and I call them. We chop it up, and that's just what it is. Like I'm not a guy looking to make money off you guys. To be honest with you, I'm not a YouTuber. I'm a car sales guy. You know what I mean? I have my career. I don't need to take money from people trying to make money. My reward is really, truly you guys subscribing to my channel and just making money. You being successful is enough payment for me, and that's real talk. As cliche as that sounds, that's real talk, man. I'm a real one. I believe that there's plenty out there. We can all eat, we can all break bread, and there's no reason to charge you for my knowledge. Your fees are to subscribe. If you subscribe, then feel free to take all the information I give for free and never give me $1. Guys, thank you so much for watching.
That's my best friend.